Guys, and please confirm to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Guys, and please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Right. Guys, and check it what we completed there in the last session. In the last class, we are having like which one here? So data persistency we are discussing there. In data persistency, we have seen already data persistency through serialization and deserialization we have discussed today. Then after that, data persistency through JDBC, almost all we are completing. Last conclusion related points here we are having that I need to discuss there. Right, sir. All of you observe this clearly. If you want to achieve this data persistency through JDBC, first we have to understand the basic programming part of this JDBC. As part of that basic JDBC content here, I given the total required points here are given. Now inside this, what we are getting here, first of all, we have to perform load and register the driver. For the purpose, we are using class.forName of oracle.jdbc.oracle driver. That we have used it. Next one is JDBC driver is ready. Then after that, we have to establish the connection between Java application and database. To establish the connection between Java application and database, we have to use connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection of JDBC colon oracle colon thin colon @ localhost colon 1521 colon xe comma system comma comma. This data here we have to provide clearly. After completion of this, another thing is like which one? We need to create statement object. Statement st is equal to on dot create statement. Then result set rs is equal to st dot execute query of selected star from emp1. Alright, sir. So anyway, then statement object we created. Next one is write and execute SQL queries. That part here we have to understand that. To write and execute SQL queries, we are using three methods overall. Overall three methods. What are the three methods here we are using here? First one is execute query, execute update. Third one is which one? Execute. Execute query, execute update, and execute method. These are the three methods here we are having. Then we have seen already the difference between these three. Execute query method can be used to execute select SQL query. It able to fetch the data from database table. That fetch data will be stored in the form of result set object. That's okay, good. Execute update method can be used to execute non-select SQL queries. It can be used to perform the operations like which one? Create, alter, drop, insert, update, delete, and so on. These operations there. Whenever we are performing these operations, some row count value will be generated. That row count value will be given back to the Java program, JDBC program in the form of row count value. Execute method. Execute method can be used to execute both the types of SQL queries, both select SQL query, non-select SQL query, both we are able to execute. Right, sir. When we execute both of them, first what we have to do there? Boolean b is equal to st.execute of select star from emp1. Select SQL query will be executed by database engine. Fetch the data. Data will be given to Java program in the form of result set. But execute method will return true value. Execute method can be used to execute both the types of SQL queries. Both the SQL queries are executed by using which one? Execute method. All of you observe this clearly. Both the SQL queries are executed by using which one? Execute method. So in this scenario, st.execute of select star from emp1 in the sense select SQL query be executed and it will return true value. Next one. Second execute method is available where we can write like which one non-select SQL query that will be executed. We are getting some results and that results are given back to which one Java application where row and value here we are getting. Good. Guys, all of you listen carefully. All of you listen carefully. I'm able to give one point here clearly. Understand it. How JDBC is able to achieve data persistency? This is my question. How JDBC is able to achieve data persistency? Answer is very clear. Understand it. When we establish connection between Java application and database, when we establish connection between Java application and database, that the connection is having a default mode. The connection is in a default mode. That default mode is which one? You know, auto commit mode. Auto commit mode. Default mode is available for connection when we establish connection. That is like which one there? Auto commit mode. All of you have to this clearly. What is the meaning of this auto commit mode? What exactly the meaning of auto commit mode of this connection? What is the meaning of it? Right. Its meaning is very clear. Up to this clearly. Its meaning is when we submit an SQL query to the connection, as connection is having auto commit mode, it will send that query to the database engine. It will make the database engine. It will ask to the database engine. It will instruct the database engine, execute this SQL query, store the results of this SQL query into the database table permanently. For example, if I send one inside SQL query, as per this auto commit mode of this connection, it will ask to database engine, insert that record into the database table permanently. It is not possible to roll back permanently. That means the results will be stored into the database table permanently. Records are stored into the database table permanently. Modifications are performed in the database table permanently. Once these permanent operations are performed, there is no chance to perform rollback. Rollback operations are not possible. Once if we keep data permanently, rollback operations are not possible. Come on guys, all of you observe this clear. Once if we keep data permanently, then rollback operations are not possible. Right, sir. This is the meaning of like which one can know auto commit. Alright, sir. Now in this auto commit mode, data is stored into the database table permanently. The word permanently yields. The word permanently is giving clarity for us. Data persistency is achieved. And whatever the operations we are performing, maybe update operation. Permanently at the database table only updations are performed. They are not going to be rollback. Right, sir. Delete operation. Permanently the records are going to be deleted, not rollback operation. So these operations are which one? Permanent operations. So CRUD operations we are able to perform permanently. So these permanent operations are nothing but which one? Data persistency. The data persistency here we achieved through auto commit mode of connection. Automatically the data persistency here we are able to achieve in the case of like which one can know JDBC. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? This is what exactly the meaning of like which one can know, right? Data persistency we achieved through JDBC applications. Right, sir. Then what are the drawbacks with this particular JDBC? What exactly the drawbacks are available with JDBC? Definitely we are having number of drawbacks. What are the drawbacks here? First one is like here we can understand it, no? Come on guys, now tell me in a JDBC, all of you observe this clearly, in a JDBC, all of you understand it, in a JDBC, developer must write SQL queries or not? Or now tell me, in JDBC, without writing any SQL query, is it possible to perform database operations? I'm asking this question directly to you. In JDBC, is it possible to perform database operations without writing SQL queries? No, it is not possible to perform database operations without writing SQL queries. Definitely SQL queries we required. That means developer must write SQL queries or not? Developer must write SQL queries in our JDBC programs or not? Come on guys, answer for my question. Developers must require SQL queries or not? Definitely, developers must require SQL queries in our programs. Right, so when developer is writing SQL queries in our program, when developer is writing SQL queries in our program, definitely developer must need SQL queries awareness or not. Developers must need SQL queries awareness or not. But basically, we are Java developers. We need to know SQL. That means SQL and PLSQL that we have to understand. That means Oracle technology we have to know. That means the respective database technology we have to know. So this I feel burden. This is the burden, one of the drawback with our content. That means in JDBC applications, developers must write SQL queries. Developers must write SQL queries in a Java application, Java program. So developers must have knowledge on, awareness on SQL technologies. This is one problem here. We can understand it clearly. Developers must have Oracle awareness that we have to understand. Good, sir. Good. Next, if we are using JDBC, we will take the responsibility of creating connection and maintaining that connection, sir. Who has to take the responsibility of creating connection and maintaining that connection, creating driver and loading the driver or not? Who has to check all these things? Answer my point here. In JDBC, who has to check the driver is loaded or not, or connection is established or not, or statement objects are created or not? Who is checking all these things? Right, sir. If you come for this point here, answer is very clear. In the case of JDBC, developer is responsible for all. Right, sir. In the case of JDBC, who is responsible for all these things in the sense? Yes, your answer should be like which one, you know? Developer is responsible for all the content. Right, sir. So in JDBC applications, developer must take responsibilities for driver management, connection management, statement management, and so on and so on and so on. Understand it, guys, clearly now. So in a JDBC applications, driver must take responsibilities for driver management, connection management, statement management, and so on. Guys, now tell me, all of you are getting my voice clearly? Is my voice is clear to all of you guys? Is my voice is clear to all of you? Yes, clear. All the people are saying clear only. This is my listening. It's not giving any effect. Anyway. Right, sir. Good. So in the case of this JDBC, all we have to respond. Just wait 1 minute, guys. Sir. Right, sir. And now the point is like which one here? This is about second drawback here we have to understand. So developers must have monitoring over drivers management and connection management and all these things here we have to understand clearly now. Next one is, another one is like which one here? See, listen carefully. I want to introduce one word now. That word is required throughout your Java career. Here itself, I want to introduce one word. Now, come on, guys. Now tell me. In JDBC applications, to perform any database operations, what are the various steps here we have to follow? Sir? What are the various steps here we have to follow? In JDBC applications, if you want to perform database operations, what are the various steps here we have to follow? In a JDBC applications, we have to, in a JDBC applications, we have to perform the steps like which one here? First one is load and register driver. And second one is establish connection between Java application and database. Right, sir. And third one is like which one here? Create either statement or a prepared statement or a callable statement. And other thing is like which one here? Write and execute SQL query. And last one is like which one here? Close the resources. Guys, am I right or not? These are the various steps here we have to use if you want to perform database operations in JDBC. Right, understand it clearly. All these things here we are able to do. Now, what I am getting here clarity, no? What I'm giving clarity, I'm asking one question to all of you, no answer for my question. Inside this, now tell me, out of this 5 number of steps, which steps are repeated at each and every JDBC program actually? Which steps are common at each and every JDBC program? Which statements are common at each and every JDBC program? Now come on, tell me now. I'm asking this question only. Which steps are very much common at each and every JDBC program without having changes? In all database, in all JDBC applications, we are able to use like which one? We are able to use that. Which steps are very much common? Come on, guys. We have to say the points. Load and register the driver, just class dot for name method. In every case here, we are able to use. Not all the steps, no. Not all steps, no. Right, so definitely. Load and register driver, establish connection, and create a statement or prepare statement or callable statement. Up to these steps. Next one is like which one there? Close the resources. So A, B, C, and D. These steps are very much common. Only D is very depending on the requirement. D is very depending on the requirement. A, B, C, and E. These steps are very much common. All of you observe this clearly. These steps are very much common. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Of course, we can understand it. That means anyway then. Okay, fine. I want to equalize all of you know. Here the point is like which one here? In the above steps, majority of the steps. In the above steps, majority of the steps are repeated, are common to all JDBC applications. Right, sir. Instead of saying this common, I can say majority of the steps are common or repeated in all JDBC applications. Right, sir. Now, these common steps are repeated steps. We are able to say like which one here? Boilerplate code. These common steps are repeated steps are called as like which one? Boilerplate code. Boilerplate code. So, all of you get my point or not? So this is what exactly the word I'm using here, boilerplate code. Just like I can give one example. Guys, how many of you are attending my UI technologies class? Come on, now give answer for it. How many of you are attending my UI technologies class at 3 p.m.? I think so. Django class. Any of you are attending the Django class? A response. Any of you are attending my Django class? That means UI technologies. At present, I am discussing here. Right, sir. Okay, fine. No issues. If you go for this HTML technology, if you prepare any HTML technology, if you prepare any HTML, definitely whenever I open this HTML file, minimum a set of tags are common. Which tags are common? At every HTML file, at each and every HTML file, which set of tags are common? You can understand it. What are the various tags now? Yeah, HTML tag is common. The next one is like which one here? And a slash HTML. Then inside this HTML, which one is common here? No, head is common. Minimal. We are able to write like which one? Inside this head, some meta tags here. We are able to write something else. At least meta tag and encryption tag we are able to specify. Next one is like which one? Body tag. Inside this body tag here we are able to write. This is minimum HTML code at each and every HTML file. Minimum HTML code. This is repeatable at each and every HTML file. So I can call this a repeatable code is called as which one? Boilerplate code. Boilerplate code. This is repeatable code at a boilerplate code. Understand it? Why the name boilerplate code? That name is coming there. There is a story for it. At the starting point of the computer science, might be some printing presses are available. Actually, these markup languages are coming for the sake of this simplifying the printing presses operations only. For recognizing the words, for representing the standard words only, printing press people, they want to use a markup language. Actually, that's the initial origin for markup languages. Then where at initial stage, what happened there? In the case of this printing presses, no, they had some discs. Over the disc, some letters are adjusted. That letters print only they want to get actually. So in majority of the news from one day to another day, majority of the news are very much common. Some templates are maybe some news like what I'm telling there, some headlines and all these are very much common. But only content may be one or two lines may be varied, but content will be that disc thing is which one they're very much common. Every time that disc must be boiled and that disc must be like which one that plate not disc actually that plate must be boiled, that printing has to be performed. So every day the same plate is boiled again and again. That's why the name is like which one? Boiler plate. The name is coming like which one? Boiler plate. To get that printouts, to get that news printing, some plates are available where letters are adjusted there. Almost 70 to 80% is the common content only. Only 20 to 30% is variable here. So every day the common content must be boiled and that the printing has to be done. So that's why the name is coming like which one? Repeatable code, in the sense like which one? Boilerplate code. That's it. Boilerplate, that plate has to be boiled every time. So that's why it is called as which one? Boilerplate every time. Right, sir. Anyway, so repeatable code in every program is nothing but which one? Boilerplate code. No changes are available, but that same code has to be written again and again. So in the case of JDBC also, nearly 4 statements are boilerplate codes. Only one statement is varied. Only one statement is varied. All the remaining statements are like which one? Boilerplate code only. So here the point is like which one? And majority of the steps are common or repeated in all the JDBC applications. So boilerplate code is available. So this is also be another drawback here. We can understand this clearly now. So even though it's a repeatable code, but again and again we have to write it. There we are not having any alternative for it. This is what exactly the meaning of like which one? Boilerplate code. Right, sir. Good. Next one is another point I'm telling to you clearly. Observe this clearly. In JDBC, transaction support is very less. In JDBC, transaction support is very less. It's not good. Instead of saying it's less, I'm telling transaction support is not good. Just half of the transaction support is available. If we want to get transaction support effectively, either we have to go for Hibernate or we have to go for which one? Spring. Spring is ultimate. Spring is providing very good transaction support. Spring is ultimate and Spring is providing like which one? Very good transaction support. Right. So this is one point here. Next one is another thing is like which one here? And the fifth point we have to understand it. In JDBC, almost all the exceptions are checked exceptions only. Checked exceptions in the sense like which one? Compile time exceptions only. checked exceptions only, compiler recognizable exceptions only. So what we have to do now? We have to use some Java code. We have to write some Java code to handle them, to handle these exceptions. Understand it clearly. So all these exceptions are like which one? Checked exceptions only. To handle them, we have to write which one there? Some Java code. This is extra button here. We have to understand it. How to write this Java code. Right, sir. Right. This is another drawback here. We have to understand it clearly. Next one is another point here. Guys, all of you understand this question. I'm asking to you. In JDBC, which object we are going to use to store data? Come on, guys. Now tell me. In JDBC, which object we are going to use to store data? To store fetched data from database. When I execute select SQL query, some data will be fetched from database. Right. In which object that fetched data will be stored? Come on, guys. Now tell me. All of you now tell me. Answer for my question now. Right, sir. Answer is result set. Answer is like which one? No? Result set. Observe this clearly. Result set object is able to store data. Right, sir. In JDBC applications, result set object is able to manage. In JDBC applications, result set object is able to manage fetched data from database. But what is the status of this result set? No, here result set is not serializable. Result set is not serializable. Guys, observe this clearly. Okay. Then if it is not serializable, then what is the problem here? Whenever it is not serializable, then it is not eligible to travel in a network. It is not possible to send a result set object from one machine to another machine once it is not serializable. When it is serializable, then we can transfer it. But by default, result set is not serializable, so it is not getting eligibility to travel in the network. It is not getting eligible to travel in the network. We are unable to send the result set object from one machine to another machine. Traveling means sending. I'm telling you, just it is not eligible to travel in the sense. Say in general, sir, traveling. Understand it clearly. Travel in the sense, what I'm telling you, it is not eligible to send. For example, send in network. Okay, sir, if you're getting it or not. So it is not eligible to send in the network. Right, sir. These are overall drawbacks with like which one here? JDBC. These are what exactly the drawbacks with JDBC. Right. Right, sir. Now, and Swarup, are you understanding what I'm telling to you? Swarup, are you understanding what exactly the point I'm saying to you? Have you understood it? Yeah. Then what I'm to see, for example, what I'm telling to you, it's a distributed application actually. Local machine or remote machine is available. At local machine, I have a result set object that I want to send it to a remote machine. But in between this local machine or remote machine, network is available or not? Network is existent. So which objects we are able to send in the network there? Which objects we are able to send in the network now? That objects must have some eligibility. What is that eligibility? That objects must be serializable. When the object is serializable, then only it is eligible to transfer in the network. That means to send that through the network to remote machine or from remote machine to like local machine. So that object must get eligibility by implementing which serialized. But result set situation is which one? Result set is like which one? The result set is an object, but which is not serializable by default. That's why it is not eligible to transfer or to send in the network or to travel in the network. It unable to travel in the network. That's it, guys. And one more thing. And Sudhanshu Sharad, have you asked any question? Have you sent any response? Sudhanshu Sharad or something else? His name? Yeah, Sharad. Sudhanshu Sharad. What response you are expecting, sir? Guys, and one thing I'm telling to you, one thing I'm telling to you. So all of your messages I'm able to watch. I'm able to see all of your messages minute to minute, minute to minute. You're not aware about it. So I used to open that like which one questions box. The question box I opened there at one side. My question box is open to me. If you send A, it's visible for me. If you send B, it is visible for me. All of your messages I'm saying. Don't think about it. I'm not saying that messages. No. Understand it clearly now. Right, sir. So we can understand it clearly. We can go for like which one there. Okay. If you have any doubts, we can send through the questions box. I'm able to see that and I'm able to go for all these things. No problem. Good. Right, sir. It's okay. Good. Right, guys. Now, and these are exactly the drawbacks with like which one can know JDBC. You can understand it. Overall, what are the various drawbacks are available with JDBC? Now, just understand this first one. What about this first one here? In JDBC applications, drivers must write SQL. That means developers must write SQL queries in Java programs. So developers must have awareness on SQL technologies. And in JDBC applications, developers must take responsibilities for driver management, connection management, statement management. No other person is taking the responsibility. Developers only must take the responsibility. Next one, in JDBC applications, we are able to use some boilerplate code. What is that boilerplate code? No, nothing else. It is a repeatable code. It's a repeatable code and it's a common code in every application. Which code is boilerplate code in the case of JDBC? Load and register driver, establish connection between Java application and database, and create either statement or prepared statement or callable statement, write and execute SQL query and close the resources. This is another thing. Right, sir. In these steps, majority of these steps are common and repeated. So this type of code is nothing but which one? Boilerplate code. That's what we do. Next one is in JDBC transaction management is not good. In JDBC, almost all the exceptions are checked exceptions. So to handle them, we have to write some code explicitly. All right. Next one is like which one there? In JDBC application, result set object is able to manage fetch data from database. Here, result set object is not serializable. It is not eligible to send in a network. That's it. These are the various points here we have to understand about the drawbacks about JDBC persistency mechanism. Right, sir. These things here we have to understand clearly. Then, after completion of this, to overcome all these problems, we have to go for like which one can know? ORM implementations. We have to come for like which one there? ORM implementations. Got my point or not? ORM implementations. That's it. But before going to understand these points, I will give introduction, separate introduction for this ORM implementation. Try to observe this clearly. Guys, all of you understand it. This introduction part is very, very important. Today, I'm taking this session is because of this introduction part only. So everybody has to understand it. So long time onwards, we are using the word like which one? ORM. Even in the first class itself, almost all 20 to 25 times I've used the word like which one? ORM in very first class, in demo class also. So now we are going to understand what is the need of this ORM and what exactly the purpose of ORM. Yes, I will go for this content. All of you observe this clearly. Right, so now I will take one simple diagram, simple application kind of thing. Just try to observe this clearly. Guys, I want to take like which one? A form I want to take. I want to take a form. So which form I want to take here? This is almost all equal to registration form. Here I want to take simple registration form. Simple registration form. Right, sir. Now registration form here we provided. Now inside this registration form, just I want to take some of the points, some of the fields. Say for example, name. Then after this name, next one is like which one here? Address. Next one is maybe address is not required. Just I want to take email and mobile number. That's it. And next one is like which one here? Mobile number. Now here we are able to have a button. What about this button here? That button is nothing but like which one? Register button, for example. Let me provide this content. Okay, this will be like this one, name. This one is like which one here? Email. And after that, this is like which one here? Mobile. And this is like which one? Register. These things are existed. You can understand it now. Next one is, here we are having a servlet. Here we are having a servlet. This is servlet. It is existed here. Registration servlet. Registration servlet. Okay, fine. Now at the same time here I'm having database. Database is existed. Everybody has to understand it. Database is existed here. Right, sir. Inside this database, what I am telling to you, observe this clearly. I'll take a table, registered users table. Now inside this table here, what we are able to get? Name, email, mobile number. With these fields, here we are having something, some table is existed. That's okay, good. This is my table, you can understand it now. Right, sir. I want to say flow of execution also for this. After this flow of execution. Right, sir. After this flow of execution, first of all, I'll provide like which one there. Name I want to provide. Say for example, AAA. Email I want to provide AAA@dss.com. Mobile number. I'll provide this mobile number. Something else like this mobile number I provided. What? When I click on register, when I click on this register button, automatically request will come to the servlet or not? Come on, guys, answer for my question. Request will come to the servlet or not? All of you, please answer for my question. When I click on this register button, automatically request will come to which one? My servlet. That's okay, good. Now tell me at a server side, where this form data will be stored. At a server side, where this form data will be stored. Everybody has to give answer for my question now. Where my form data will be stored at server side now. Right. Definitely the total data will be stored in the form of an object. An object. That object is called as which one? Request object. This is like which one? Request object. All of you observe this clearly. At the server side. Total data will be stored in the form of a request object. This is not required. No. This is my request object. Request object. Inside this request object, which data will be available here? No, you can understand it clearly. Name is equal to AAA, that means capital AAA. Email is equal to AAA@dss.com, and mobile number. Mobile is equal to the mobile number here we provided. Data is stored in the form of like which one? Object. Right, sir. Good. Then what next one here? What is the job of this registration servlet? This registration servlet must take data from request object, it must take data from request object. After taking this data from request object, it has to store that data into database. It has to store the data into database. Here we can expect it clearly. Name AAA, email ID AAA @ something. I am providing this, and mobile number is like which one here? Data is stored. All right, sir. Whenever this data is stored, then here what we are able to get there? Some response here we are able to get. So that servlet will identify this, that the status of this database operation. Whenever it is good, then it will give a response like which one here? No, just we are able to say a response like which response here? No, registration success. Let's go for it. Registration success. So this is overall my application here. We are understanding clearly. Guys, all of you clear about this point? All of you clear about this point? All of you are getting clarity on this flow, application flow? Everybody has to give response now. All of you are getting clarity on this one? Flow? That's fine. That's good. Now, I'm talking with you now, try to understand it. I want to divide this total. I want to divide this total part in 3 parts. I want to divide this total thing into 3 parts. What are the 3 parts here? I want to divide there. This is first part, and this is the second part, and remaining thing is which one? Third part. Right, sir. This is first one. Observe carefully, and this is second one, and this is like which one? Third one. 3 parts. Here we divided. Now tell me, sir. I'm asking few questions to all of you. We have to answer for my few questions there. What exactly the questions here I'm going to ask to you? That questions would be like which one here? First of all, tell me here in this registration form.html maybe, or inside this success form.html maybe, whatever it may be. Right, sir. Inside this. Now tell me, inside this, data is represented in the form of hypertext format or not? Sir, understand my guys what I'm telling you now. In this location, in the first area, data is represented in the form of hypertext format or not? This is a hypertext representation or not? Hypertext representation or not? Good. So just I want to provide like which one, hypertext data model. Okay, fine. Just I want to say some name. Hypertext data model. Fine, very clear. Come on, guys. Now tell me here data in a second one at server side. Here data is represented in the form of objects or not? Here data is represented in the form of objects or not? That's why this data representation is nothing but like which one here? Object oriented data model. Object oriented data model or object data model, whatever it may be, both are same. So here the data is represented in the form of like which one? There are no objects as per object oriented features. All of you observe this clearly. So the data model is which one here? Object oriented data model. Data is represented in objects in the form of objects. So this data model is nothing but which one? Object oriented data model or object data model. Next one is after completion of this total part here, we can understand it. Next one, everybody has to understand this next point here. Next one is Last, here data is represented in the form of tables or not? Here data is represented in the form of tables. Observe this clearly now. Tables and relations actually. Data is represented in the form of tables and relations. So here, this data model is nothing but like which one here now? Relational data model. Relational data model. Object-oriented data model and relational data model. So majorly here, which points here we required exactly? Which points exactly here we have to focus more overall in this total concept here? Which model here we have to focus there? If you come for this point, majorly we have to focus on like which one? Which words here we have to focus majorly? Hypertext data model, object-oriented data model, relational data model. These data models in these points only here we have to represent. We have to put consolation there in these data models only. Good. Now guys, now tell me now. In a single enterprise application, data is same, but in how many ways the data is represented? In how many forms the data is represented? Now tell me. Data is same, but in how many forms the data is represented there? Now tell me no. All of you know, in 3 forms the data is represented. What about these 3 forms? Can know? First one is an hypertext data model. Second one is object-oriented data model. Third one is like which one? Relational data model. Good. Right, guys. Now observe this clearly how the data is switched from one model to another model. There we have to understand it. How data is switched from one model to another model. This point here we have to understand. Right, sir. How data is switched from one model to another model. Come on, guys. Now I want to give some example to you. Now we have to understand this example exactly. How data is represented in one model to another model. That's my question now. Say for example. First point here I'm telling to you. Just think about it. Data is switched from hypertext model to like which one here now? This object-oriented data model. How the data is switched. Here to switch data from hypertext data model to object-oriented data model. As a developer, do you have any responsibility to do any action? As a developer, do you require to do any action here? Is there a requirement to do some actions here to switch data from hypertext model to like object-oriented data model? What is developer responsibility? Nothing. Here, developer is not responsible for it. But who is responsible for it? Switching data from hypertext model to object model. Who is responsible for it? Come on, guys. I'm asking this question there. Who is responsible for it? In this client server application, who is responsible to take data from network and who is responsible to keep the data in the objects? No, not the servlet. Servlet is a program. No, I'm asking about who is responsible for it. Just we can think of it either server or maybe container. Strictly speaking, container. Server or container. Server or container will take the responsibility, not driver. Server or container will take the responsibility of taking hypertext data and keeping that hypertext data in the form of which one? Objects. That's okay, good. Up to that, we are very much clear. Now, my required point is coming. Everybody must give response for it. Everybody must give answer for my question now. Now, at the server side, data is available in the form of object. Good, data is available in the form of object. Now, here my question: who is responsible to transfer or switch data from object-oriented data model to our database? That means relational data model. Who is responsible for it? Who is responsible to send data from object-oriented data model to our database or relational data model? Who is responsible for it? Guys, don't say like object output stream. Don't say JDBC driver. No. See, data is available request object. Who is getting data from request and who is keeping the data in SQL query? Now tell me now. Who is doing that work? Is the JDBC driver is getting data from request object and doing that work? Is the driver manager is doing this work? Think about it. Who is doing? See, data is available request object. Here protocol situation is already completed. When data is available request object, protocol is gone. Leave it. Now, what I am asking to you, data is available request object that I know. And who is taking data from request object and who is keeping the data in SQL query to keep data in a database? Who is doing that? Exactly. Developer is doing that work. And people are saying again connection object and all. No. Right, sir. I'm asking to you, who is responsible to pick the data from request object and to send the data to the database? Is the developer or not? Is the developer or not? Exactly. The developer has to do that work. Developer has to do that work. Good. So developer is doing that work in the sense this is an explicit work or not? As developer is doing that work in the sense is an explicit work or not? Server, that means client to server, hypertext data model to object oriented data model, automatic server will do that. But here getting data from request and keeping the data into the database is an explicit work or not? Answer my point here now. Good. Exactly. In this particular situation, what is the point I'm telling to you? Developer has to put more concentration to get the data from object oriented data model to keep the data into the database model. That means developer has to concentrate on object oriented data model, relational data model. Developer has to know both object oriented data model and relational data model. That's okay. This is one point here in this scenario. Now here my required point is which one? Developer must deal with two data models or not? Developer is doing, that means developer must deal with two data models. Am I right or not? So one is object oriented data model and other one is which one? Relational data model. Please remember this point here. So here we are using two data models to represent data. Time to time we have to navigate from one data model to another data model. This is what we required exactly. Right. Now observe, if you observe clearly this point here, object oriented data model is having its own data representation. Relational data model is having its own data representation. These two data models are having their own data representations. Say for example, another diagram here I'm able to provide, by that we are able to get much clarity. Object oriented data model is having its own representations. Say for example, I want to say this one. In the case of object oriented data model, what we are having, sir, say for example, class employee is existed. This is class employee. Inside this class employee, what we are having there now? Into envo. Next one is like which one can know? String ename. Next one is like which one can know? Say for example, float ecell. Then another thing is like which one can know? String eadr. Like this. Object oriented data model. It is available. Observe carefully. This is like which one? A class in object oriented data model. Right, sir. At this side, what we are getting there now? Observe this clearly now. Relational data model is existed. At the relational data model, what we required exactly? This is object oriented data model. Now get at relational data model, what we are having here exactly table is available. Right, sir. Table is existed. This is table. This is another one. Then we can understand. Right, sir. Now, at the object oriented data model, just ID property, envo. I want to say like which one here? ID property. But in relational data model, we want to say that DNO is like which one here? Primary key. Primary key. All of you observe this clearly now. Right, sir. Next one is like which one here? Then after that, at the object oriented data model, data will be represented in the form of objects. What are the various objects are available? Just we can observe this clearly, number of objects. First one is like which one here? We can understand it. envo is equal to 111. Next one is ename is equal to AAA, and eSal is equal to 5000. Next one is eAddr is equal to like which one? Identifier. This is one employee object. Similarly, another employee object here I want to take. This is like which one here again? envo is equal to 222. Next one is like which one? Ename is equal to BBB. ECL is equal to 6000 and EADDR is equal to add batch. Next one is after completion of this, another thing is like which one? Another update also I want to create. Now inside this, just what I want to provide there, ENO is equal to 333 and ENAME is equal to CCC and ECEL is equal to 7000 and EADDR is equal to like which one? Right, sir. Now three objects I created here. All these three objects has to be represented at the relational data model also. In the case of this relational data model, then what is that situation there? No, that each and every object here 111, ENAME is like which one here? AAE, and ECEL is like which one here? 5000. Okay, fine. Now EADDR is like which one? Add batch. Right, sir. Observe this clearly. And next one is like which one here? Then after that 222 and BBB. Now 6000. Add batch. Right, sir. Now like which one here? 333 and CCC 7000 like which one? Add batch. Observe carefully. Here objects are representing records. Just I can represent like all these things are like which one here? Records only. Just we can observe this clearly. This is one record. Similarly, this is another record. And this is like which one here? Another record. Data is represented in the form of records here. But here in object-oriented data model, data is represented in the form of which one? Objects. Understand it clearly. Similarly, here at which side here? At object orientation, at object oriented side, some other features are existed. What are the various features now? Just we can understand it clearly. Associations are available. Associations are existed at object orientation side. Associations. Not only that, associations. Next one is like which one? Inheritance is available. Like this, a number of features are existed now. But at the relational data model side, what we are having here now, just we can understand it. Say for example, primary key, foreign key relations are available. Relationships. Not only that, primary key, foreign key relationships. No, next one is like which one? Joins are existed. Understand it? Now, like this, the data relationships are going to be provided between the tables now. Here between the classes, associations, and inheritance. Here between the tables, primary key, foreign key relationships, and joins we are able to provide. See, if you observe this total scenario, if you observe this total scenario, total representation, what we are getting clarity now? Data representation approaches are different in object-oriented data model, and approaches are different in relational data model. Both are not same. An object orientation data representation is different. In the case of this relational data model, data representation is different. Right, sir? Because of these two data representations difference now, some mismatches are identified. Some mismatches are identified between object-oriented data model and the relational data model. Some mismatches are identified. Right, sir? These mismatches, what are the mismatches here we are observing is, these mismatches are reducing these mismatches are reducing data persistency in our enterprise applications. Data persistency in our enterprise application, these mismatches are reduced. These mismatches are reducing data persistency in enterprise applications. Exactly in this particular situation, to improve data persistency and to simplify database operations in this particular scenario, we have to go for some mapping between object-oriented data model elements with relational data model elements and relational data model elements with object-oriented data model elements. Some mapping is required. Which type of mapping is required here? Just all of you observe this clearly. Which type of mapping is required here? Just we have to understand clearly. Now, the type of mapping what we require exactly, we can understand this type of mapping here. First mapping, we required the mapping between like which one directly class and what next one table. In object oriented model, class is equal to a table. It is which one they know? Relational data model. In a class, in object-oriented data model, yeah, because of these two different models, data models, they are having their own data representations. Mismatches are available. That mismatches are providing like which one, you know, lesser data persistency. That's why to improve the data persistency, we need to go for some mapping. What exactly the mapping here we require now? What is class in object-oriented data model and what is table? In which table, which class data has to be stored? In which table, which class data has to be stored? Understand it clearly. This is one thing. Next one is which objects are available and that objects data has to be stored in which record and as well as like which one can know data. Right, sir. Here also be objects and record. Class, table, objects and records. This is data mapping. Here we require now. Next one, after completion of this, what next one can know? Here primary key is existed. Primary key, that means ID property, and what next one can know? Primary key. In general, in Java Bean classes, we are going to use ID property. It is representing that object uniquely. On the basis of that only, we perform some operations. Right, sir. Next one is like which one can know? See, these things here we are able to achieve like which one can associations with which one they know? Primary key, foreign key relationships, maybe. And apart from this, like which one here, maybe through giants also, maybe giants may be used or not, that we will check this later on. So these mappings are we required exactly. All of you understand this clearly. So these many mappings we require. So if you provide this type of mappings now, our data persistency will be very simple. If you confirm it employee and a table now, EMP1 table, for example, I want to give that name for this table also. Table name is like which one can EMP1, for example. If you confirm employee data has to be stored in EMP1, employee objects must be stored in EMP1 table as a record, and associations are provided through primary key, foreign key. Inheritance is also be provided through primary key and foreign key. If you confirm it, now developer job is very simple. Developer will create objects for employee, will get data from employee, and will keep the data into the respective tables only without having any thinking. Without having any thinking, and developer is doing that work immediately. So by this, what we are able to get, then by this, our data persistency is very simple, and we are able to achieve the data persistency 100% in our enterprise applications. So because of this reason here, we require the mappings between object-oriented data model and the relational data model. We require these mappings. Exactly. These mappings are provided by ORM implementations. These mappings are provided by ORM implementations. Right. One of the implementation is like which one can know? Hibernate. These mappings are provided by ORM implementations, and one of the implementation is which one? Hibernate. That's it. This is what exactly the requirement to come for like which one can know? Like Hibernate, and as well as like which one? ORM implementations. But as to understand this point is clear now. So if you are not understanding this point, it's not at all possible to understand your remaining part of the Hibernate. So only one point, very simple point. So here mapping is required. If you provide mapping, then data persistency is very simple. Who is providing that mapping? No, ORM implementations are providing that mapping. How these ORM implementations are providing that mapping there? By using like which one? Hibernate. What Hibernate is doing now? Hibernate will take maybe XML document or maybe annotations. In that XML document, employee to EMP1, employee objected to this EMP111 objected to 111 record, 222 objected to 222 record. Like this mapping. Then after that, what next one? Associations and primary key, foreign key relationship. This type of information we are going to keep inside which one? Either XML file or through which one? Annotation. That's it. Then finally, that mapping is available. Then developer work is very simple. Finally, data persistency will be achieved 100%, and we will not get any problem here whenever we want to do database operations. This is the reason why we have to go for like which one? You know, ORM implementations. Everybody has to understand this point is clear now. What I'm giving to you. Right, sir. Good guys. Now this is the purpose of this ORM. The further purpose only we are going to study this Hibernate here. So the remaining content I will discuss with you in the next class, guys. And I will take next class on Monday again. I will take next classes on Monday. Maybe on Monday this link may not be worked out. Yeah, yes, Srinivas, I will do that. No problem. I will guys, and Are all of you are getting my voice clearly today? Any problem in today's session? No? Yes, is my voice is clear? Some sessions are not good. No issues, no issues, no issues, no issues. No problem, no problem. Clear, clear, clear. Yeah, I think maybe one or two members are not getting clarity. Just please check your system also. From my side, it's okay, fine. All the members are getting clarity. No, try to check your system also there, guys. Right, right, right. Good, sir, good. That's fine. On Monday, I will take our session, but Monday, on Monday, I think this link may not be worked out. That link will be sent to the registered members. I think our admin people will do that work. On Monday, this link may not be available. Right, Monday onwards, I will go for ORM implementations. So I said you some mismatches are available between these both the data models. I'm able to explain that mismatches. What are the various mismatches? Why we require to come for this ORM? Then after that, gradually I will move on to which one there? Hibernate, and I will go for like which one? Hibernate application development. Gradually, I will go for this. And Monday onwards, we are going to see the remaining content, guys. Right, sir. Definitely. Then this course of material is available. The total document will be submitted to you. Might be our admin people will send the total document anyway. Nearly 365 pages of 365 plus pages of document is available, and meanwhile I will give some maybe extra notes also there. Maybe every day I will share some diagrams and classroom notes also. Whatever the things I am providing there. So just Monday onwards we will plan for it. Exactly. Right, sir. Yeah, max before Monday you will get all formalities. You will complete this all formalities before this Monday. You will get it max. Not worry for that. That's fine, guys. That's okay. Fine. Just one time we can talk with the admin people. Admin people will give more clarity. Already had number there. Just we can talk with them. But, yeah. Thank you. Guys. Thanks a lot. Good night to all of you. Then we'll meet on Monday. Thanks. Probably.